we lost some of
For our viewers, you mean?
Yeah, and I think for our fans, from the aesthetic enjoyment of the game.
Nope.
Where it de-emphasized the particular skill a player had and maybe weighted too heavily physicality, where a big, strong player.
All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I wanted to check out this video from the NBA GOAT. I can't remember now if I was suggested this one or if I found this one on my own. I think it was suggested to me. But it's called 10 NBA Legends Share Their Issues with Today's NBA. And I think it's important to focus on this a little bit this year, especially because, well, we had an issue with the three-pointers, and as we've seen, they are actually shooting more threes than ever now. So we had about a 3-year stagnation where it was like it seemed like it hit its peak, but now this year we just blew the lid off it and we're shooting more threes than ever. Defensively, like they're allowing the players to play a little bit. I'd say about like maybe 5% more aggressive, which is cool. I mean, I'm glad we're seeing a little more contact. We need that to happen quite a bit more for the league to become successful again. And the ratings are the proof, you know, that's the whatever. The proof is in the pudding. And the ratings speak for themselves. A lot of us aren't watching nearly that much. Young people aren't watching that much. The game has gotten kind of boring, which is trading off threes. So anyways, I'm going to link the original video down below for anybody who wants to check out the original video from the NBA GOAT. And everybody else, please leave this video a like. And let's do this. If you guys want, before the video starts, stick your comments in there on what you think is the main problems with the league. And we can re-comment as we go along.
I would average 45 points in today's game.
If I'm being honest,
Wait. Okay, coming up.
bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago.
Oh, it was definitely a tougher game. It was more physical. These guys are very talented, but they made it easier on them. They take rest periods now.
Yeah.
I have no patience for coaching.
Basketball legends like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Jerry West, and many others you're going to see here have shared over and over that this current NBA is much less physical and much softer.
Yep.
Many young fans have simply excused those comments as bitterness from the ex-players. Supposedly, they say all of this because of their age. Them being
No, and I'm changing my tone when it comes to this because I do understand the retaliation from younger people when it comes to this. If we say the players are soft, that's, you know, we're attacking their generation. However, my new understanding of this is it's the rules. The rules are soft. You know, the rules are set up to, you know, you can't make any physical contact with the offensive player or else it's a foul. So it's not the player's fault. The rules are dictating how the players play. You know what I mean? They're just stepping in line and doing whatever they can. Just like in the 80s when it was the polar opposite, when the rules were set up where you could literally body slam somebody and you pay no penalty for it. So guess what? Everyone was body slamming the hell out of each other. So it's not the players themselves. The players are a product of the rules. Therefore, we see them as soft. But if the rules changed, they'd have to fall in line and they'd have to adjust their style of play, and they would, you know, for $50 million, $40 million a year. Hell yeah, they would change their style of play. But right now they don't have to. So why would they? And they can't anyways. If they try to play more aggressive, they're going to get penalized for it.
being bitter and jealous of today's players making so much money compared to them. But ask yourself, how can that be if your current commissioner literally says the NBA took the physicality out of the league to allow freedom of movement and higher scoring?
Yeah.
There was a point.
That's the problem. And I'm glad he's harping on this right away. It's an Adam Silver problem. He's at the top. He's making these rules. He's making these changes this is exactly what he wanted. It just turned out it's not what most of us wanted.
I believe, probably in around the late 90s when the game became too physical. And I think we lost some of the...
Wait, late 90s? That was the golden era, though. In the 80s, the mid 80s is when the game was too physical. They dumbed it down. They introduced flagrants, and it actually made it a fair playing field throughout the 90s, and it lasted until about 2000 and maybe 2010ish. I mean, it was dumbed down a little bit in the 2000s, but yeah, I wouldn't say the late 90s it was too physical. It was a perfect balance.
Yours, you mean?
Yeah, and I think for our fans... And I think we lost some of
For our viewers, you mean?
Yeah, and I think for our fans, from the aesthetic enjoyment of the game.
Nope.
Where it de-emphasized the particular skill a player had and maybe weighted too heavily physicality, where a big, strong player could come in and prevent a incredibly skilled player from doing those kinds of things. I think of, not that he's a small guy, but a smaller player like Steph Curry can do on the floor. I think that when you think of some of his ability to shoot, his ability to move through the paint, that if guys could just bang him and knock him to the ground, as that was once the case in the league, I don't think that would be a better brand of basketball. I also think we have to find the right balance, because I know when I sit in the stands or talk to friends sometime, they want to bring back, and we've tried to bring back a little bit more of the physicality. Like, I think people like to see hard defense.
He tells you.
Yeah. I watched that interview. That was Kevin Garnett and him, and a sit-down interview, by the way. Really, really good talk. You want to see KG and his best behavior? Watch that interview. No, but at least he's admitting it. The commissioner's admitting what's going on. This was by design. And it's just, let's be real. He wants higher scoring. So 3-pointers and spread the paint. So, clear the paint. And then he wants dunks, because these are highlights. So the real highlights in the game right now are 3-point shots and dunks. So he wants those two things all over social media, and he's getting it. The problem is everyone is looking like each other now. No one is looking like an individual, because there's no one contesting a drive to the basket anymore. It's a clear path. All you got to do is get by one dude, and it's a clear path to the lane. Not like in the 90s where you get past your dude and you've got 3 guys waiting for you in the paint. Now, you can call that not as good to the eyes, but to me, it's amazing. Because in order to score in that situation, like, you need some real creativity in order to get it done, and some willpower. By the way, Steph Curry, I disagree with the statement about Steph. If there was more physicality and they can bang him around, like he says, well, guess what? He's predominantly an off-the-ball shooter. Reggie Miller figured it out. Ray Allen figured it out. So would he. He'd just have to fight through screens, or not fight through screens, but bounce off of screens, quick pop. He's got the fastest shot release I've ever seen. He'd figure it out. You just got to challenge him. He could do it.
Straight to your face. They made the game easier for everyone.
Yeah.
This literally says the game has become softer, and it's easier these days to stay healthy and actually play many more years due to less physicality. Yet players still get injured and literally take time to rest these days with load management. Before I play the clips I showed in the...
By the way, this is also allowed. That's why it's happening. Commissioners got to stop this somehow. And I don't mean just like penalize. Oh, you're not valid for MVP this year if you miss a certain amount of games. This is why I talk about pay to play, or pay for play. Show up to work, you get paid that game. Don't play, you don't get paid that game. Your contract could be your contract, $40 million a year or whatever, if you played every single game. And then after that, we start taking whatever percentage that is. Take 40 million and divide it by 82. And whatever it is per game you miss, you get paid a little less. I think that incentivizes players to play. Once again, it's not the player's fault. It's the rules. The rules suck. And then you got people like Embiid who are really taking advantage of it.
Beginning, I will let Kobe Bryant tell you himself how in his eyes the NBA has changed, and he played with LeBron and finished his career just 8 years ago. Rip Kobe. Here you go.
More of a finesse game. It's more of, small ball. Which personally I don't really care much for. I mean, I like kind of smash mouth, old school basketball because that's what I grew up watching. You know what I mean? And I also think it's much less physical. Much less physical. I mean, some of the flagrant fouls that I see called nowadays is just makes me nauseous.
Yeah.
We can't touch a guy without it being a flagrant foul.
Yeah, no kidding.
If I'm being honest, bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago. If I'm being 100, and this is to everybody in our league, Tatum, all y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
Nope.
Nah.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back, and then if you shot that shit, it had to go in. You know why?
If not, you're on the bench.
We had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was so fucking hard. It was too physical. And guess what? The league had to come off of it for the flow of movement to be able to have scoring go up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of the rat race of the high-paced game, right? But bro, let's not talk about the gamemanship, and let's not talk about the physicality of the game back then. Real shit, because I only think half these kids in the league could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago.
Straight up.
The locker room was too grown.
You know what I watched too? You know what I watched?
It was two of them. It was too much of a fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
I know what he's saying. If you weren't tough, you weren't going to make it. If you weren't tough, it just wasn't going to happen.
Just the hand check.
No, bro, it was a different vibration. David Stern did a great job of taking all of the physicality out of the game. You understand? Freedom of movement means freedom of movement. Man, back in the day when you had to get by Paul because Paul was squared up with you and ready to slide, and then he could body you, he could poke, he could use his hands, but I can use my hands. The shit that we saw in the Olympics was similar style play when the guard can ride you damn near over the pick.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to get out of that, and a nigga like Holiday, when he come out and he get over, he there. Right. So if you go to cross him, bro, you don't even, that's what I'm saying, bro. Man, the levels in which you had to be not only strong enough, but skilled enough to get by this nigga in front of you.
Damn. I remember that too. He was pissed. Rightfully so. I feel the same exact way.
Officials to call it by the rule book. Okay. Stop the traveling, stop the carrying the ball, stop the moving screens, call the damn game according to the rule book because players will adjust.
Yeah.
If you're going to allow them to get away with it, hell, of course I'll keep doing it. Call the game according to the rule book. It's such an advantage to let a guy carry the basketball or take an extra step. That's ridiculous. Or a guy to move on offense. I mean, why are you giving all this advantage to guys? They're breaking the rules. Call the game according to the rule book. I charted a game a few years ago. Chicago, Atlanta. 59 moving screens weren't called. 59.
Yeah, watch LeBron. Watch LeBron. You'll be blown away at the moving screens from LeBron. He'll even lean in and he'll shoulder check everybody. So illegal. And sometimes he's just trotting along while he's doing it.
That's insane. I can't even tell you how many times they carried the ball, how many times they traveled with the ball. It's pathetic. For me to watch this game the way I was taught how to play the game and to watch this and what they allow to let go, it's an embarrassment. I'm sorry, it is.
And by the way, this isn't hate. This is love. Because I feel the exact same way. We're not saying this stuff because we hate the game. It's because we love the game. We grew up with the game, and we're protective over it now because we see it going down a terrible path. And we don't know if it's ever going to come back. It's like the game we love is, if it was a person, it would have gone off the rails. Homeless, drug addiction, married to someone incredibly toxic, and it's like how did this happen? You still love the person just like I still love the game, but it's like it's hard to see something you love become this. And that's why I'm saying this is not hatred, this is love and fear.
It's an incredible game. The athletes are incredible. What they can do is incredible, but they're getting away with murder.
Yeah, and the players have proven they can shoot, right? Give them space, they can shoot. All right, so everyone, including centers, can do it. Cool. Point proven. Now make it a little more challenging for them. See who rises.
And I blame the officials. Call the damn game accordingly.
It's not just the officials, dude. They work for the commissioner. So, yeah, the commissioner has the ability to tell the refs, hey, I want to put more emphasis on this, start blowing the whistle, or else you're out. I'll replace you. It's not just the ref's fault. They're doing what their job is, and it's up to Silver to change what their job specifications are.
And it's the same thing with screens. I mean, I'll give you a good lesson here, okay? You hear even the coaches, when I'm hearing the coaches saying, well, he didn't set a very good screen. Trust me, guys, a player doesn't set a screen. Doesn't say when you have to set something, it implies that you need to do something. You have to set a screen. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility as my teammate, for Clifford Ray, let's say, is to learn to put yourself in the most advantageous position to allow me to take my man and run my man into him, thereby making him a screener.
Absolutely, and that's why the screener plants themselves, used to at least. 2 hands down. We used to have to practice, so we'd have to practice our form. Cup your hands together down, near where your crotch is. Hold your hands together straight down. Puff your chest out, go straight, and then wait for that man to just bounce right into you. And you don't lean in, you don't flop, you just sit there like a brick wall. And that's what a legal screen is.
He's a stationary object.
Yes.
He only becomes a screener if I run my man into him. So if I do a crappy job of setting my man up and he's going to come over the screen, what does he think? Well, I'm supposed to set a screen. So he moves a little bit to try to what? Set a screen.
Yep.
That's a violation.
It is.
It's a moving
screen.
It's a foul. Officials don't call it unless you take a guy's head off. That's the problem with the pick and roll play. They don't run it properly. They don't understand it properly.
Yeah, so they let you get away with that on offense, giving you even more of an offensive advantage. Yet if you pull anything on defense with any kind of contact, it's an immediate foul. It's so unbalanced.
Even the coaches are talking inadequate or not intelligently about it. It's not. You don't set a screen. You put yourself in position to become a screener.
Yep.
I mean, seriously.
It's basics.
It's pretty simple.
This is stuff you learn when, you're like 7, 8 years old. Like, it really is. I did. I think a lot of you would agree.
A lot of these players don't understand the game. They have so much unbelievable talent, they don't know how to utilize it properly. And as good as some of them are, they'd be a lot better if they really knew how to use that incredible God-gifted talent that they have. But they don't, because they weren't taught the game properly.
Damn, man.
The thing that I the most dislike about today's game, if a team is getting beat by 25 points and you've got your star players sitting over there laughing on the sideline, if I was the executive running that team, that person would be in my office the next day. And I want to know what's so damn funny. It's not, this is serious. But if you watch the NBA, it has changed so much over the years. It's about entertainment. Dan, the rules are so relaxed, okay? They are just so relaxed. I think it's easier to score now than it's ever been in the history of basketball. And that's why we see the game changing a little bit, the three-point line changing. Twice last night, we had wide open layups late in the game, and we choose to shoot a three.
Yep.
I don't particularly like that.
I see it all the time. It's driving me crazy. I'm even seeing big men now. They got a clear path to the lane, like one more step and a dunk, like it's wide open, but then they'll pass it off for the 3. And it's just like, what happened to this game, man? Like, I don't know. I don't even have anything else to compare it to. You've got the clear path. Take the dunk. Why are we going for the damn 3? And then no one's boxing out for offensive rebounds anyways. So what the hell?
I always think you should throw the ball ahead if a guy's got a layup.
Yeah.
Now, if it's Curry or Thompson shooting
it's a sport. You get points for scoring the basket. So go for the easiest basket possible at all times. Right? It's not that complicated.
you feel a lot better about it. But I just see this enormous change in the league. I think it's going to get more and more like this. It's almost like the spread offenses in football, and particularly in down the Southwest Conference down there. I think I saw a game last year in football, and this has nothing to do with basketball, but the score of the game was like 71-65.
Jeez.
Their basketball team doesn't score 71 points.
Yeah.
And so people like entertainment. Entertainment is scoring.
I guess. But then why are the ratings down?
I look at it right now, and I laugh when people say, good guys play right now. With all the room, Max, that there was up there, you're driving from the elbow, and you're driving from those, we weren't driving from the 3-point line. We got it where it was one dribble lay-in.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't stop that because it's just all spread out. So
yeah, because if you drove from the 3-point line, sorry for pausing. If you drove from the 3-point line, like maniacs like Jordan would do it. But if you do that, you've got 3 guys waiting for you. Good luck.
The way the court is spread. I really don't like the way the passing is. Like, good Lord. I mean, throwing the ball ahead now, I don't know what you got to do to make a guy throw the ball ahead. I mean, you got to beg him to just throw the ball ahead. And once you throw the ball ahead, you've turned like a 5-on-5 into a 3-on-2, a little mini 3-on-2. And if you have playmakers, the driving and kicking game is just where this game is at right now.
It is.
If you can get in the paint and collapse the defense, you got it made. Antetokounmpo gets in the paint, either finishes or he throws it out. And we had all kinds of guys that could get in the paint. Like, I tell people, all of us, Larry, me, you, Robert, we could go by our guy pretty easily. I mean, whether it was Robert's spin or whatever, we all got by our guy.
That's the funny thing. I keep bringing this up too. It's so easy to get past the first guy. Your on ball defender. That's easy. That's easy ISO. Anybody could do it. The real question was, how do you get past the other 3 guys and still score? Now it's just the one guy. Clear path to a dunk. Could you imagine Hakeem Olajuwon in this era? Like, freaking forget about it. Charles Barkley?
And it was always the other guy that tried to help out.
Yeah.
Today's game, if we're drawing 2, I mean, guys are wide open all over. So I like this space. I don't like the fact that people don't pass. And good Lord, they over dribble. I mean, the first time they get the ball, they back up between their legs. And I'm just going like, how about playing off the catch and and so I just, I think, Max, honestly, we've given into way too much. Any 3 is a good 3.
Yeah, I totally agree
with that. We had
with that.
basketball IQ. We understood basketball.
Timmy.
We paid attention to details. We wanted it.
We skills.
Understood what it took to win. We put in the work to win. It wasn't fake work. Some guys out there fake working because they got to be out there.
And the camera on them.
And the camera.
Ben Simmons.
You could really look in their face and see if they want to be out there. Mm-hmm. Like we wanted to be out there. When we came out there, we had a face on our face like, it's gonna be on.
Yeah, they did that in exhibition games too. It's like, oh yeah, I'm matching up against this guy. That's all you needed. That's all you needed back then. Oh yeah, look at this guy. I'm gonna freaking destroy him. And that's all the motivation you ever needed. I'm out here to prove a point.
Yeah, when we come out, people come out to shoot, and when they times to shoot, we not hugging a baby, we not kissing this person, we not doing this, we not doing that. We come out here and we shooting the basketball. Our mind is ready to play the game of basketball. We have a job to do.
Yes.
This ain't fun time. Mm-hmm. This is basketball time. This is our job. This is our work. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was about. Today, Oh, it's about, hey, kissing babies here. Chauncey Billups
Kissing
said,
babies.
he said, somebody at halftime, he ran in there and looking at it and posted his stuff at halftime.
Posted a dunk.
Yeah, posted a
No.
dunk. Chauncey said, what are you doing,
Wait, who
man?
did that?
He said,
Hold up.
oh, it's about, hey, kissing babies here. Chauncey Billups said, he said, somebody at halftime, he ran in there and looking at it and posted his stuff at halftime.
Posted a dunk.
Oh, is that when he was coaching?
Yeah, posted a dunk. Chauncey said, what are you doing, man? Your mind's supposed to be in the game.
They was getting blown out too.
Right. If you want to be back
Damn.
here, you stay back here. You can't even come out to the bench. You know
Dude, if we were getting blown out, if I was the coach, my team was getting blown out, and a player during half is posting a dunk on social media, and we're getting blown out, you're sitting on the bench the rest of the game. Just do whatever you want. I'd even give him his phone. Here you go. You can respond to comments as to why you've been benched. Go for it, dude. Play on your social media.
that's what today's game is. But when we played, we had an attitude.
It wasn't about a highlight. It was about
I would
winning.
average 45 points in today's game.
No, Reggie, you wouldn't. Stop it. You'd average 35. MJ would average 45. You'd easily average 35, though. 45 is a little too much. Did you say 40 or 45?
I would average 45
Yeah,
points.
okay. It's too much. It's too much. Too much, Reggie. You went too far. Too far. Blow off top.
Points in today's game if the way they play defense today, where you can't hand check, you can't contest shots, you got to come on the side. Jordan would have averaged 45, 50.
Yeah, MJ would average as much as he wanted, but you would average 35. And that's not an insult, dude. 35, you'd be the highest scoring player in the league right now. I'm shocked that players aren't scoring 35 a game right now. That's kind of bad to me. That's showing that no one is really rising above. 30 is easy in today's game.
In today's game.
The point I was making is
Dan
you
Patrick.
allow great shooters freedom to roam, freedom with no hand check. You can't crowd me, and I got a clear sight at the rim, then it's going to be lights out, baby. That's the point I was making when I was like, I would average 45. So I wanted to throw a crazy number out there to get people's attention. But it's so hard.
That's fair, because that did get my attention. To be honest, though, he'd get 45 whenever he actually wanted to. If he really made it a goal, he can get 45, no problem in today's game. But 35, I think, would be his average.
Hard to play defense in today's game because they allow the offense to go wherever they want.
Yep. MJ.
I have no patience for coaching.
Nope.
My biggest problem.
By the way, this is the craziest podcast I've ever seen. It was like the Cigar Aficionado or something like that. Weirdest conversation ever. But MJ says a lot of stuff.
From a competitive standpoint is the focus of today's athlete and the focus of where I saw the game, how I pursued the game. It changes and it's totally different. So to me, for me to ask an individual to focus on the game the way I played the game, in some ways would be, unfair for that kid to have to endure that. And if he didn't do it, no telling where my emotions would be.
Right.
I don't think I would have the patience for it. So in essence, coaching is something that I've never really felt I could do from an emotional standpoint because I'm much different and I have a different perception about things than what the kids do today.
Same here. I'd have a hard time being a coach in today's league. I'd have a better time being more like a trainer, working with individuals on individual skills. But I would get just like MJ, I'd get so frustrated at seeing players just not focused, being lazy, making excuses, complaining to refs, all this stuff. There's so many things that I would bench players for to prove a point. And it would either get everyone in line real fast and we'd be a dominant team, or I'd get fired within the first week. There's no in between.
The physicality that was a part of the league. Hey, look, when you can put your hand on a guy's hip and make him go a certain way, if you can put that elbow in his chest to slow him up, which we call slowing a guy up when you coming down the lane, so how many guys can deal with that type of pressure? And for J.J. Redick, who played this game, I'm very disappointed that he has said something so stupid. This is the thing I'm having a problem with. Bird, who's a big guy, who got bumped all the time.
Yep.
You know, we played around the basket more than guards played around the basket. So I don't understand the logic for him saying that. When clearly those big guys, even to the big guys today, they get touched a little bit more than little guys because they're around the basket. So it just don't make sense when, this is the thing I hate the most. We had our time. It was a great time. It's their time now.
Yes.
But don't crap on us to prove your point. Because it doesn't make sense and it's not valid.
This was in response to Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, saying that Michael Jordan was the only skilled basketball player in the 90s. I remember covering this extensively because I was livid.
But the same thing, they look at Sam and myself, the old guys hating.
No,
hating on what? I don't hate on these guys.
You're responding right now.
Yeah.
You're not.
I don't hate on these guys. These guys
responding.
great. I just don't like the disrespect.
Yeah.
And to say that about Larry Bird, it was less physicality. Is he stupid?
Back MVP.
It's just a stupid comment to make. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with Steph Curry or Larry.
Yeah.
It's the content.
Exactly. We just broke down the end result.
It doesn't make sense. And he should know better than that.
Yeah.
And I don't care what he feel about me, what his response might be. But when I hear that, I'm like, you really don't know, do you?
Yeah. He don't.
Are you a fan of this load management?
No.
Are you a fan of?
No.
You don't like load
dump
management?
truck management. That's about it. Load man. I mean, it's a different time. I mean, it's just guy making $40-50 million, and I think that you should want to play. People paying your salary. The kids come to the game. They want to see you, especially when like East Coast come, West Coast come to East or East Coast go West. You got to play these games, especially the team you want to play once at home, once on the road. You got to play these games, but I think they allowed into the business now because the league got so soft. It's a players' league. They get what they want. So I feel sorry for the fans. I'm apologizing from the old school guys that y'all had to go through this. I really apologize. I'm sorry.
I always put it this way. Imagine, I don't know. Imagine you're going to a concert. You buy concert tickets to your favorite group, your favorite band, and the star, let's say it's like the lead singer, just doesn't show up. The lead singer's load managing for this night on the tour. You get your money back, But in the NBA, we're just supposed to shut up and deal with it. No discount, no nothing. And we're just supposed to be happy about it? Like, I don't agree with that whatsoever. I paid for this product, and you guys can't give me this product. And it's not because of an injury you can't go out. That's one thing. I could be understandable there. But if you're just load managing, come on, man, you're ripping us off.
They said cut the schedule down to 72. They still gonna miss. If it's 72, they gonna play 60. If it's 62, they gonna play 50. So
you like that? You like this? You like the cutting down to 72?
I mean,
no.
Maybe they might try to say, okay, this means a lot more to the fans. The 10 game. They said they don't like to play back to back. They cut the back-to-backs. Right. So now they said 82. It's 80, we played 82. But I played it for my 18. We wasn't copping out because it's part of your job. Facts. They don't, see, that's going to show you, it's about work. When they start something, this and that, my finger, that's lazy. That's why a lot of teams don't win. That's why it's hard to build a team these days, because the good chemistry you got to have. And the league right now is missing a lot of leaders. It's not a lot of leaders on this team. They just playing. Everybody just run them down court like kids, but they just making a lot more money.
Well said.
I have to be careful because anytime you say anything, we're the grumpy old parents now.
Yep. You a hater.
You can't say anything about, first of all, they gave themselves a nickname. They call themselves millennials, which you can't give yourself a nickname. I hate that. They should just say rich, spoiled brats to these kids of the day. That's this generation, man. We give all these kids everything. They don't appreciate anything. Oh, it was definitely a tougher game. It was more physical. These guys are very talented, but they made it easier on them. They take rest periods. What? Yeah, guys miss games because they just want to rest. What? And they rest. They fly private jets. When I played, we flew commercial.
Oh, good Lord.
Just think about it. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable. But you know what? I've been so lucky and blessed. God bless these young players, but they are spoil rotten.
Damn. Well. All right, that's the end of it. What a cool video. Cool compilation there. Yeah, not much to say about it. I agree with all of it. I agree with all of it. I don't know. I think about all my friends, you know, and then I think about the younger generation right now because we're in a financial crisis. Everyone working for their pay, and then I see these guys in the NBA, and I'm like, you've got it made, and then you still don't show up for work. But everybody else, if you don't show up, you don't get paid, and that pay is massive. You might not be able to make your rent. You get sick, you can't show up to work for a couple days. You have to just grind through it, you know, and that's fine. We always had to do that, but you know, the pay hasn't really increased that much for the common man, the common folk. But for the NBA, it's ballooned up from like a couple $100,000 a year to $50 million a year. And you're telling me you're making that much more money and you can't show up to work? And if you don't show up to work, you don't pay a penalty? Like, you don't lose any of that money? It's just wrong. It's just wrong to me. I don't know, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. I don't know. It's been bothering me a lot. Can you imagine getting paid? All right, if you're getting paid, let's just go $40 million a year. 82 games in a year. You're making $500,000 per game. Could you imagine that? Like, thinking in the back of your mind, all I got to do is hoop, you know, for about 35 minutes. If I hoop for about 35 minutes, I earn my $500,000 today. We'd all be hooping with a big old smile on our face, even if we were a little under the weather, or like our knee was sore, or we had like a shoulder issue going on. 500K? I'd be hooping with a big old smile. You know, like, screw, what do you got to lose at that point? I don't know. All right, I'm out, everybody. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. I'll see you down there. We'll have a conversation about it. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And I'll see you soon. Peace out, everyone.